It's a lot of people that are worried about what I'm going to say on this here show. But guess what? So, I'm a one-woman army and my perspectives are fortified. Hi, my friends know me as Kiki. To everyone else, put a miss in front of that. I'm the official host of Club Fortified's Cafe Commentary, where we sip coffee and we tap nerves, honey. Because not everyone may agree with what I have to say, okay? So look, make sure you've purchased your coffee of the month, link below, and grab your favorite coffee mug you like to sip out of, because life is giving jolts and we have to take some things into consideration, okay? Now look, please understand that the purpose of Cafe Commentary is to elevate and rise. So if it's not fortifying our lives for the betterment of ourselves, we have to change our elevation, because life is not perfect. And sometimes we have to shuffle through the BS to get to the real, you dig? Now look, the views on this show are my own and are not necessarily the views of Club Fortified and or its affiliates. So with everything I say or do on this show, it's assumptive, because I stay in my own lane, honey, and actually don't know definitively. So please do your own research before you come for me and my opinions, okay? Now, look, let's get this show started. You may not know it yet, but your EQ is about to get upgraded. Go download the free EQ Challenge ebook on our online portal at cf-clubfortified.com and challenge yourself to elevate and rise. The topics for this month's show are October Detox, simple ways to clear your mind and your space. Letting go like the leaves, what autumn teaches us about renewal. Immune boosting foods to add to your fall diet. Fall reset, 7 ways to refresh your mind, body, and home this October. Now get in here and sit down somewhere. Let's take a couple of sips and talk. Baby, look, if you just elevating and rising this morning, I want to welcome you back to Cafe Commentary, okay? The cozy corner of Club Fortified, where the coffee is hot, the vibes is real, and guess what? The commentary, you already know it stay brewing, baby. I'm your host, Miss Kiki, and baby, it is officially fall. My favorite time of the year, y'all. Now look, if you're listening while sipping that pumpkin spice latte, you know everybody love that around this season. Everybody, honey. Or if you like me and you made your own sweet potato pie, cinnamon latte, using Club Fortified's The Cozy Season Blend, then you're already in the spirit, honey. Today, we're talking about renewal. Fall style, because October isn't just about spooky decorations and candy corn. Oh no, it's about detoxing your space, your mind, and maybe even your habits, okay, before the chaos of the holidays sets in. You know what I'm saying? So wherever you at, go ahead on and grab your mug, get that coffee ready that you ordered from Club Fortified, the coffee of the month. Snuggle under a blanket. If you're getting ready for church, go ahead on and put your best fit on, baby, and let's get into these 4 fall feels, okay? Look, we're going to start this off with October Detox, okay? Now, look, I don't want you to panic. Don't panic. Calm down. Calm your nerves. I ain't talking about drinking celery juice for 10 days and pretending it tastes like lemonade, okay? Baby. This detox is about peace, not punishment, all right? Look, October is the perfect month to detox your mind and your home, okay? Because when the leaves start falling, you should always want to alleviate that extra mental junk. You know, we've been carrying it around all year, but let's go ahead on and alleviate that and let that loose. You see what I'm saying? Now look, those overdue tasks, the negative talk, self-talk, the cluttered countertops that somehow, collect everything from mail to mystery receipts from 2002, 2020. I don't know. I swear my counter be like a magnet for random chaos. One day it smells, the next day it's a candle, 3 keys, a half-eaten protein bar. Oh, Lord, have mercy. Anyway, look. A detox in October isn't about denial. It's about creating, breathing room by releasing clutter, quieting distractions, refreshing your environment. You step into the next season lighter and freer. You know what I'm saying? Let me take a sip to that, because I don't know if you heard me. You step into your next season lighter and freer. Okay. Look, just like the trees let go of their leaves, we can let go of what no longer serves us and trust that renewal is just around the corner, baby. Okay? Trust the process. Let's look. I'll tell you this, and I want you to listen. When your environment is cluttered, your mind feels it. So this October, I challenge you to do a mini detox, okay? And here's how. I'll give you an example just in case if you don't know how to do it, okay? Pick one space each week, right? It could be your car, your desk, or that dreaded junk drawer, and clear it out, okay? You can also delete emails, 10 emails you've been avoiding, okay? Clean out that space, Start unfollowing accounts, social accounts that make you feel less than or drained. Okay. It's not about perfection. It's about creating room, mentally and physically, right? For better energy to move through our lives. Okay. Because, when we, have that space, it feels calmer. Our spirit, follows suit. It feels freer. And baby, peace of mind. Okay. That's priceless. Look, I want y'all to tell me something right quick. Look, you ever look at the trees in October? They're just out here letting go like professionals. Leaves turning colors, dropping gracefully, honey. And not one tree is out there screaming, wait, I wasn't done with summer. They just release. And guess what? That's a lesson, honey, that we all need to take heed to. Okay? Because sometimes we hold on to things, old relationships, past mistakes, even outdated versions of ourselves, long after the season has changed. Learn to let go. Now look, don't get me wrong, letting go is hard, but like the trees, we have to trust that shedding the old makes room for the new. Yeah, so look, maybe it's time to let go of guilt. That guilt that's been, hanging on like branches, okay? Or that friendship that stopped blooming years ago. Or even that mindset that says, I have to do everything myself. Look, when I was younger, I used to think letting go meant giving up. But now, I see it's the ultimate act of growth. Okay? And we all need to grow because, look, if the trees can let go of their leaves every year and come back stronger in the spring, baby, so can we. Okay? And for those of you that need a little assistance, with knowing how to let go, let's talk about it, okay? Look, I'll give you some examples of ways to let go, okay? Sometimes people hold grudges, right? Release those grudges through writing. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Anger and resentment weighs us down. Write a letter to someone you struggle to forgive. Whether or not you ever send it, putting your feelings on paper, it helps you process and release them. Journaling. A lot of us journal. And then another thing is decluttering relationships. Ooh, that's a cold one, ain't it? Decluttering relationships, honey. Look, as we age, time becomes our most valuable resource, right? You ever heard the phrase time is money? It really is. It costs you, okay? Look, surround yourself with people who support and uplift you, okay? Slowly step back from toxic or draining relationships. Okay? Another thing is simplifying your commitments. Baby, I'm hot today, ain't I? I'm hot today, baby. Because look, when we learn to say no, each time we decline something that doesn't serve us, we say yes to peace, to rest, to joy, to personal growth. Okay? So just simplify your commitments. You know what you like. You know what what you're capable of doing. You know what you're not capable of. Okay? And look, another one is letting go of perfectionism. You know, for those of y'all that always talk about, I need to do this the correct way. I need to make the correct decision. It's okay. And I heard something, and I forgot that guy's name, but it was on social media. He put a video out saying that sometimes when you're stuck in fight or flight, you feel like everything needs to be perfect because you're afraid of falling. Look, perfection is an illusion. I'm gonna tell you that. You know, progress, consistency, and joy, that matters far more. Okay? Give yourself permission to do things imperfectly, but wholeheartedly. Because guess what? Baby, look up to God and He'll lead you the right way. Okay? And another thing, reframe aging as transformation. Okay? Instead of clinging to the idea of youth, embrace wisdom, freedom, authenticity. Okay? Autumn doesn't mourn the loss of summer. Okay? It actually celebrates its golden glow. That's an old saying, baby. So look, letting go is not about loss, but liberation. Liberate yourself. Look, autumn teaches us that endings are not failures. They're not. They're preparations for new beginnings. Okay? And by releasing what no longer nourishes us, whether old grudges, unhealthy relationships, or impossible standards, look, we cleared a way for a brighter, lighter future. So smile. Okay? So this October, take a little walk outside. Let the wind hit your face. Watch the leaves fall, okay? And whisper to yourself, I release what no longer serves me. Because sometimes, baby, you got to drop it like it's autumn. Ooh! Let's talk about something my fellow foodies would love, honey. Keeping that immune system strong this fall. Because you know, the minute the temperature start dropping 2 degrees, somebody sneezing is in your direction, honey. But here's the good news, though. You don't need, fancy supplements or mystery tonics, right? Mother Nature already hooked us up. Okay, so I like to talk about, some top immune boosting foods just to keep, us glowing all October long, baby. Okay, now a lot of my people, my skin folks gonna say, baby, I use garlic in everything. I do. And I do, okay? Garlic is basically nature's antibiotic, okay? Toss it in your soups, your roasted veggies, or even make a garlic tea if you're feeling bold, okay? Baby, that garlic, it'll have you sweating out some stuff, baby, in that tea, honey, and you'll be like, ooh, my goodness, you feel like Mario, baby. You got them pellets, baby. You done ate them pellets, and you got a super growth. But yeah, garlic is good. And also ginger. You can actually add it to your morning smoothies or your tea for an anti-inflammatory kick. And I said kick. I'm pronouncing that K, baby, because baby, that ginger is something strong sometimes, but oh baby, it works wonders. You hear me? And then we have the citrus fruits, oranges, lemons, grapefruits, all loaded with vitamin C. I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story right quick. I had COVID. I had caught COVID. This is when COVID was at its highest, and I ended up going into the hospital. And I remember eating pineapples and oranges like it was nobody business. Until this day, along with the doctor's help, the hospital staff help, I really believe that vitamin C actually helped me to recuperate. So look, try it out. Eat you some oranges, some lemons, some grapefruits. Have you some lemonade, some fresh orange juice. If you can eat grapefruit, some people can't, because sometimes grapefruits can't be eaten. Oh my goodness, I can't talk, y'all. But look, sometimes grapefruits cannot be eaten with blood pressure, certain blood pressure medicines. So do your research, okay? But I like grapefruits. What I do with my grapefruits is when I'm barbecuing, I may have some ribs on the pit, or I may have some, chicken breasts on the pit. I take my grapefruit, I cut it in half, and I put that sucker right on the grill, and I grill my grapefruit, honey. I take that grapefruit out and I just eat it like it is, or sometimes I might put me a little tahini on that. And guess what? My down south people, they know what tahini is. Put that tahini on that mango. Put that tahini on that lemon. Put that tahini on that baby. Go get y'all some tahini. You hear what I'm saying? And look, I love me some sweet potatoes, okay? It's rich in beta carotene, and they make you feel all cozy inside. And as a matter of fact, go get the free drink recipe off of our website, clubfortified.com, cf-clubfortified.com. And that is the sweet potato cinnamon bun or cinnamon roll drink, okay? And I think y'all will actually like it. And I'm going to say it again. It's actually, excuse me, I can't even think today, y'all. But it is from our coffee of the month. I think you'll like it. But anyways, it's the sweet potato pie cinnamon latte. Okay? Again, sweet potato pie cinnamon latte. And it's using our Cozy Sizzling Blend coffee. But look, the reason why I couldn't talk, because I just looked up and I see some woman out here chasing a man behind, I guess, her car keys. I don't know, baby, but let me mind my business. Let me take a sip. Baby, that kind of caught me off guard. I say, oh my goodness, he got her keys. Baby, I don't know if they out there playing or they fighting, but that ain't my business. Long as he don't hit her, then I'm dialing 911. I'm gonna call them people on his ass. He hit her. But anyway, look. Another one is the mushrooms, okay? Yes, baby, shiitake, whatever. I like mushrooms. They help you regulate your immune system, and it tastes great in stir fries. It tastes great in my homemade spaghetti sauce. I like mushrooms, okay? And then let me tell you something. Let me put a little. Let me eat my spaghettis with my mushrooms with a side of green tea. I said what I said, baby. I take that green tea. I might mush me some strawberries in it or some blueberries in it. I serve it over some ice. It's full of antioxidants, baby, and a perfect swap for the third cup of coffee. Do you hear what I'm saying? You done had your coffee. You don't want to drink no more coffee. Yeah, we have the coffee of the month. Yeah, we promote our coffee. But sometimes you get tired of coffee. Sometimes you want some tea. And guess what? That's the perfect swap for the third cup of coffee. Okay? Go get you some green tea, baby. And another thing I put in my green tea, sometimes I put honey. That's nature's sweet defense system, okay? Try local honey if you can. It's great for allergies, okay? Look, I stay in the South. I'm over here in Texas. We have a lot of different farmers. And we can go to the different farms if we want to. We can go get honey from our local farms. We can go get honey from, our local beekeepers. Just try it out. If you're not in the South and you have the luxury or the opportunity to get local honey, go get it. It works, okay? And don't forget hydration. Okay, that's the part of your immune system that helps. You need to drink water, okay? That's part of your immune defense too, okay? And I'll tell you this, look, immune health, it isn't built in a day, okay? It's nourished daily. You have to nourish it daily, by adding seasonal immune boosters like garlic, citrus, and, mushrooms to your meals. You create a natural defense system while enjoying the taste of fall. right? Prevention never tasted so good, baby. Ever. Okay, so look, go on, sip that herbal tea, enjoy that homemade soup, boost your body while feeding your soul, honey. Okay, because health isn't just about avoiding colds, it's about feeling fortified from the inside out. Yes, pun totally intended. Look, baby, before we finish this last topic, right, on Cafe Commentary, I want you all to call the show if you have, any of your perspectives that you actually want to share. I want you to go on cf-clubfortified.com. Go browse our store. If you see anything you like, get it, order it. Okay. Another thing, I want you to go read some of those articles at the Fortified Living blog. That's at cf-clubfortified.com. And the reason why I say this is because, we cater to different life journeys with those articles. We talk about a lot of things. Positivity is, we always strive for positivity. And that's why we're Club Fortified. We like to help people fortify their life. Life is not perfect. We're all on a journey, okay? And we're trying to make things better, to be a better person, because we're not in competition with everybody. We're not in competition with each other. We're actually in competition with ourselves. Do you hear what I'm telling you? To be a better person than what you were yesterday. Okay? Now look, the fall reset. Let's talk about that. And I said all that to say this, because look, sometimes you just need a little seasonal reboot. You hear me? Like turning your life off and on again, but with candles and cozy blankets. Look, autumn is a season of reset, okay? The long, playful days of summer are behind us, okay? And the busy holidays, it haven't arrived yet, but they coming. October sits in the middle like a calm exhale. You feel that? Let's do that again. Look, it's a perfect time to pause, take stock, and realign, our habits, right? With what truly actually matters, okay? Look, a fall reset isn't a restart. It's a gentle recalibration. And guess what? It leaves us energized and centered, okay? And look, I have a couple of ways to refresh our mind, body, and home this October. So I'd like to talk about it if you don't mind. The first thing first, you always start your mornings slow. Slow, baby. You ain't got to rush. Don't rush. Look, don't reach for your phone right away. Reach for gratitude. Learn how to give God thanks before you jump out of bed. You hear what I'm saying? Move your body. Even a 15-minute walk with crunchy leaves under your feet counts, okay? We could rearrange a space, new layout, new energy. You've been wanting to rearrange your room and your living room. Baby, put that gospel music on, go rearrange whatever you got to rearrange, honey. You've been wanting to show off that china. Go on and show it off. Go on and show it off, okay? And look, them scents. We love those scents. Baby, swap out scents. Bring in cinnamon, vanilla, or cedar candles. Instant moves shift. Instant. Do you hear what I'm telling you? And look, I love journaling, and we got some journals. Go get one of them journals from cf-clubfortified.com. But we got journals. You hear what I'm saying? You hear what I'm saying? Look, journal weekly. Ask yourself, what do I need to release? And what am I ready to invite in? Put it in your journal, baby. Go write it out. Talk about it. Come back to it. Look at it. You hear what I'm saying? And baby, refresh your wardrobe. Ain't nothing like a good wardrobe, baby, for the fall. I'm talking about them boots, baby, my little scarves, my little hats, honey, my flannel. Baby, look, got my flannel shirt. I'm telling you, look, donate, what you don't wear, and make room for something that makes you feel fabulous. Do one thing that brings you joy. You hear me, y'all? Look, every day, big or small, I'm going to tell you this. Joy keeps your energy alive. Believe it or not. So, look, live and be alive, baby. Look, October's gentle pace gives us permission to refresh, y'all. You hear me? Whether through morning walks, journaling, or recognizing or recognizing that, hey, this is me recalibrated. Okay? And guess what else we could do? Our homes, we could actually reorganize that. Okay? Look, each reset brings balance and clarity. And that's by aligning with the rhythm of autumn. You'll head into the holidays not drained, but actually renewed and ready. You hear what I'm saying? I know I talk a lot, y'all. I know I talk loud. I may sound a little ghetto. That's what some of my haters say. But I don't care, because what I'm talking is the truth, okay? And remember, you don't need to overhaul your life, okay? You just need to refresh it. One cozy corner, one deep breath, one intentional choice at a time, baby. At a time. Take your time, start off slow, and pay attention to what's going on with you. Reset, y'all. Baby, he done gave her keys back. See, that's why I need to stay in my lane and worry about what I got going on, baby, because my mind took me there. Listen, I don't play hard with men, baby. I remain in my femininity at all times, honey. He would have took my keys. I would have politely sat there looking and blinking and politely dialed 911 if we was getting into it. Baby, I got to come get him. I need my keys. I got to move around. Okay? Anyways, look. That's a whole nother show topic, y'all. We'll talk about that later down the line. But look, as we close today's cafe commentary, I want you to remember this. Autumn is nature's reminder that change can be so beautiful. Okay? Embrace it and let go like the leaves, okay? Detox your space, nourish your body, reset your rhythm, because you deserve to step into the next season lighter, healthier, and happier. Yeah. Okay? Embrace that, And look, if you love today's show, don't forget to check out the free drink recipe of the month, the sweet potato pie cinnamon latte made with our cozy season blend coffee at cfclubfortified.com. Go to the Club Fortified store. It's other things that you may like. Go ahead on and get it. We got shirts. We got beautiful coffee mugs. It's a couple of the things that you all, may find, nice and pretty for you all. I want to say affordable, but nice, pretty, and useful. Okay? And as always, stay strong, stay grounded, and stay fortified. You hear me? I'm Miss Kiki signing off. I'll see y'all next month. And guess what? Don't be out here playing with yourself, baby. Reset, detox, and love yourself. Because what? Self? I love me.
Another great show for the record books. Thanks for listening. Discover the perfect blend of flavor and conversation. Download our drink recipe of the month, featuring a creative twist on coffee, and elevate your mornings with our premium coffee of the month, crafted for true coffee lovers at clubfortified.com. Don't forget to tune in every third Sunday of each month for the Cafe Commentary Show, where Ms. Kiki shares her thought-provoking perspectives on trending topics. Sip, savor, and connect at Club Fortified, your ultimate destination for coffee and conversation and life hacks to help you elevate and rise.